What's up, guys? Cycling Virgin here, and today we're going to talk about pacelines. Something that's pretty intimidating if you're a newer person. I've tried to make this video a couple times now because it is something that intimidated the heck out of me, and I'm doing better in them now. And I want to try to share what I've learned with you guys. I'm going to try to put it into words. What I did, what I used to do, what I do now, what I've done better, what not to do, and then in the comments below, when it's all over, definitely let me know what you guys do differently, or if I miss anything, or if there's anything I can do better. Definitely let me know in the comments below. Before we get super into it, also please don't forget to subscribe. It's what keeps the channel going. So, paceline. We'll talk about what is a paceline first for those that are brand new to this concept here you're seeing on the screen. It's you'll see it a lot like in the Tour de France, a breakaway with 4 or 5 riders, or it could even be like 3 riders. They're just going to rotate in a circle. It can be called, I think people call it a Belgium circle sometimes as well. But what it's doing is it's basically it is the most efficient way, correct me if I'm wrong, it's the most efficient way for a group of cyclists to move down the road. It's evenly spreading the workload out among your group, amongst your group. That's the basic idea. Now, why would you do it on a group ride? We do it on a group ride for practice, also for speed. We want to get somewhere quicker, and also because it's a good thing to participate in, because you know that everybody is working equal on a group ride. You know that, and I guess this is the reason you do it in a road race or breakaway as well, because it holds everybody accountable, right? If you're pulling through, then you are doing, well, technically you're doing as much as as everybody else. Now there are obviously, you can kind of cheat it a little bit, slightly, but really if you're pulling through, you're doing as much as everybody there, because you can't really fake it. You have to move through, you have to pull in front of the guy next to you. If you don't, it's obvious because the line stops moving. So I guess it's an equal spread. That's why you do it on a group ride. It's just it's an etiquette thing. Obviously, on a group ride, let me also say though that you don't have to participate. You won't get yelled at for not participating, but you will get you'll get an earful if you don't participate and there's a group of guys that are participating, and then you come to a climb or something and then you attack the crap out of those guys and drop them. Like, that's poor etiquette. I hope that's obvious. So in this case, if you're fit enough to be the first to the top of the climb when that time comes, which if you want to see the end of this ride, it's the previous video. I do a vlog on it, and it shows the end of this ride, and there's some attacks at the end. But the only people that were attacking at the end are people that participated in the rotation of this pace line. So that's kind of the etiquette there. If you sit out the pace line and then you attack at the end, you're not going to have a lot of friends. And that's the group ride etiquette for this ride. Every ride's kind of individual, and then it's also kind of a little bit based on the day and how everybody is. But on this ride here, everybody kind of knows each other. Even if it's not by first name, we've all ridden with each other, so we kind of know who's sitting out and who should be in the group and who's not in the group, and you kind of get the feel for everybody. So where was I? Paceline, yeah. So what I learned when I got into these. So it took me probably 2 years of riding before I was strong enough to kind of make my way into one of these. I think about 2 years. Yeah. And then I get into one, and I think I'm pulling through. This is the story of the first paceline I got into. I think I'm pulling through correctly because I've seen one before and it pulled over to the right, just like you're seeing on the screen right here. And I was like, boom, I'm done. Got to the right-hand lane. Was like, yeah, wait for the guy to come through. I get yelled at from behind, pull through. Now, it just had started, so I hadn't actually pulled through with a group of guys. I just thought that it was gonna start coming by me. So I just got to the right and just waited and just expected it to come around on my left. And I'm getting yelled at. And someone's like, pull through, pull through. I'm like looking around kind of like, what are you talking about? So first thing is setting up the direction of the fast lane and the slow lane, okay? This is gonna vary, and this is gonna vary based on, and it should always be based on wind, if there's wind, okay? There almost always is some kind of wind, right? So in this case, the wind on your screen right here is coming from the right-hand side. So the slow lane is gonna be on the right-hand side. I did not know that, and you know, I was new and I just had some fitness and having dinner, so I got yelled at for that. And finally I figured it out, pull to the left. So I pull the left and I drop back down the left, and it starts going, you know, down the left, up the right. Where on the screen here, it's going up the left, down the right. So I didn't know that, but anyway, that's how you set up your pace line. Obvious reason for that is the guys that are going faster, that are putting more pressure on the pedals in the left lane, you want them to be able to shoot forward quicker to create that momentum pull through, so the guy in the front actually has to do less work than he normally would, because he's kind of getting this like propelled forward type thing happening. And he's gonna get that because the wind's being blocked from him as well, from the right-hand side. So first thing is knowing the direction, understand the direction, maybe even before you get into your first one, watch which way it's rotating first, and then jump into the fray. With a pace line, you can hang right off the back of the guys doing it. It's almost harder to do that though. My buddy Scott figured that out recently. It's almost harder to just hang right off the back of a group of guys doing this than it is to be involved in it. So something to think about. Okay, so direction, we got that. In this case, coming down the right, up the left, slow lanes on the right, fast lanes on the left. The second thing, or let's call it the first thing, the most important thing, is when you're in something like this, and this goes for really any group ride, but when you're all moving around in this kind of rotation, it matters even more. Number one is always don't overlap wheels. Do not overlap wheels, period. Don't overlap your front wheel ever. We know that. Number two though, in this kind of situation where you're rotating and then you're coming through and you're pulling to the right, be very slow and deliberate with your movements. No reason to move fast in any direction. You know, emergencies, obviously are total different stories, but if there's not an emergency and you're just working through the group, nice and easy, just like you're on the freeway, in your car, you don't need to change lanes by like jerking the wheel. You know, you're just gonna put a little input in, let the car just kind of move to the next lane. Same with your bike, little input, let it come over. What that's gonna do is it's just gonna give people around you time to adjust their position to yours. Because the idea of this is that you want to stay as close to the guy in front of you as possible, and you want to stay as tight to the guy next to you as possible. So if you're going slow enough as you move through and you pull through on the front, if you pull through nice and slow and just kind of move to your, in this case, right, we're going to talk about what's on the screen. Move nice and slow to your right. What that's going to give the guy next to you, to your right, time to do is just adjust his speed, let off possibly just a little bit here. You see it happening nice. This is a good little pull through here. Nice and slow. He comes over, the guy behind you or the guy next to you, he can kind of let off just a little bit without hitting the brakes, because we don't want to chop him. You know, we just want him to let it ease off the pedals nice and slow. So you just come over and then ease off the pedals, and then he can ease off, and then he's right on your wheel, right? So this guy's gonna do it perfect. Comes over, boom, just nice and easy, and I'm right on his wheel, boom. That's the way you want to do it, nice, slow, deliberate. That's the number one thing for a pace line. Obviously, number one thing for riding in general is don't overlap wheels. But that's it. That's probably the biggest tip, the biggest thing I can tell anybody is slow, deliberate movements. Yeah. Another thing is, and this goes for any group, again, it's very basic beginner group ride kind of info, but keep your eyes in front of, keep your eyes ahead. You don't really need to look around. You know, you don't need to look at the guy next to you. You don't want to look, you know, you just keep your eyes on what's going on in front of you. If there's a problem, it's going to happen in front of you, not to the side of you. That's for sure. And just keep an eye in front of you. Don't look around. When you look over at somebody, maybe you're trying to talk with somebody, or you're just kind of worried about what kind of jersey he just bought or something. That's when something in front of you can happen, maybe a non-deliberate movement because there was a slight emergency, which could have been, oh, there was something in the road, right, which constitutes a little emergency movement, and then you were looking over, so your reaction time is delayed, and you've overlapped a wheel, and then a problem occurs. That's usually what happens. So keep your eyes on, you know, the riders in front of you, and slow, deliberate movements. Yeah, don't overlap wheels. That's the basic idea. But the hopefully I got the full picture there for you on the Paceline. Like it's a matter of efficiency. It's sharing the workload among the guys in the group, and yeah, and it's etiquette. If you're strong enough to be there at the end of the ride up that last climb, if you're strong enough to be a thought of like in the top 5, top 10. On the last climb of a group ride, and there's a Paceline in the middle, then you better be rotating that Paceline. If you're skipping turns and you're or sitting it out, and then you attack on that last climb, you know, you're gonna get an earful from somebody, and it might be me. So don't skip turns and then attack afterwards. Little etiquette tip for you there. Yeah, on something like this, if everybody's participating. Now, if there wasn't, you know, 20 people here, how many people is this? 15 people? If there wasn't 10 or 15, 20 people doing it, and there was just a couple guys doing it, and you know, you just kind of got to assess what's going on here. If somebody just blatantly started attacking, then it all changes. But go with the flow on the group ride. If the group ride's rotating, let's rotate. If they're attacking, then sit in. Let them attack, you know, and then attack the shit out of them on a climb. Go with the flow, feel it out. Yeah, if you guys have stuff to add, please do in the comments below. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments below. I look at everything, guys. I look at all my messages, even if I don't respond to all of them. Questions, comments, concerns, criticisms, I see them all. Let me have it. I'm gonna keep making videos based on what you guys want. Talk a little bit about future videos that I have kind of on the whiteboard. I don't have a whiteboard. I should probably buy a whiteboard. On the proverbial whiteboard. Number 1 video coming, disc brakes versus rim brakes. Yeah. I'm gonna talk about the pros and cons. I'm gonna talk about my thoughts on them. Obviously I've ridden disc bikes of all varieties. I'm not on a disc brake bike right now. As I'm looking at the screen here, is there even any disc in here? I know Johnny's on a disc brake bike because I just sold him that bike. So there's a 1 disc brake bike in here for sure. Not a lot though. Now look at that. So I'm gonna talk about the pros and cons of disc versus rim brake. That's coming up. I'm gonna do a carbon wheel kind of just breakdown of the big 3 manufacturers, and then my thoughts on how they ride. I won't really call it, I might call it a review. Yeah, with some carbon wheels. Those are coming up. Of course, more ride videos. Those will always be coming. Crit season starts here. What is today? Today's the 19th, so we're about 30 days, a little over 30 days away from crit season. Race number 1 will be Avondale, and I will bring you, hopefully, front and rear face cameras, complete breakdowns, overlays, yada, 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 all this stuff. And then we're gonna have a bunch of teammates as well, a bunch of new teammates. I might have GoPros on teammates' bikes. That might be cool. I might bring those in, show their power numbers, that kind of stuff. So it's gonna get deep with the crit racing. Group rides are gonna keep coming. What else do I got lined up? The disc brake thing I talked about. I'm gonna talk about more just bike reviews in general. I'm gonna talk more about products. But yeah, a lot of fun stuff coming up. Excited to keep this channel rolling. You guys have been great. Like I said at the beginning of the video, if you have not already, please, please, please subscribe. There's a little bell also, guys, next to the subscribe button. That little bell there, if you click that, it allows you to get 100% of my uploads. So if you don't click that bell, I can upload a video and sometimes you guys don't see it. So when you, and this goes for people that are subscribed, they're listening, go find the bell next to the subscribe button, you click that, and you get an indication every time I upload a video 100% of the time. Otherwise, YouTube will throttle it and it won't show you all my uploads. The new Instagram's going well, posting on there as well if you guys just want a little Instagram stuff. I might start doing some Instagram live, like little look-ins on like, you know, what I'm eating in the morning. I might just fire up Instagram Live, Cycling Virgin, and just show you guys what I'm eating after a ride or something. So check out my Instagram, it's down below. Check out my Strava, of course, guys, follow me on Strava. This ride was on there. It was the BOS ride, I believe, from like a week ago. That doesn't help because who knows when you're watching this video. But my Strava's in the link below. Follow me on there. And then yeah, the Patreon page is rolling. If you guys like the content, I'm trying to bring you 2 videos a week. Consider signing up for Patreon. It's $1 a month is all I'm putting on there for a minimum. And yeah, it helps the channel, keeps it rolling. It's, you know, $1 a month. I don't know. Netflix is Netflix $15 a month now? I'm not Netflix, but at least it's cycling related. Well, that's it, guys. Thanks for watching, and we will talk to you next time.